So welcome everyone to this SAP Partner Enabled event webinar. We will talk today about third-party connectivity in SAP Integration Suite. And as you know, the overall theme is all about accelerating SAP in CI integration. And I think here you're at the right address. We will go in detail about the capabilities that are there to accelerate here, how to use third-party adapters, what are the use cases of integration content, and how can you speed up and create high quality integrations in a quick way. So yeah, we will go over to these topics. Let me tell you about the agenda, what is the setup. My name is Sander Kool, and I'm here with my colleague Ankit Kesavani. We're both enterprise integration expert specialists on this domain of third-party connectivity with SAP. You see here the different topics that we're preparing today for you. As you see at the bottom, it's QA. We keep this interactive. You have the options to ask any question in the chat. We have a fully packed session. It will be 45 minutes. But yeah, please ask your questions because we're doing this for everyone out there. So if you have any query related to the content, please add it here in this meeting. I think it should be possible via the Q&A chat, and we will pick it up and answer your questions, especially at the end. We reserve a little bit of time to handle your questions there. If you look at the agenda, you can see, we have different topics, third-party connectivity. So everything with third-party applications, how to integrate it with via SAP B2P for use cases around S/4HANA, as you can imagine. What are the different options that you have there in the B2P Integration Suite ecosystem? And also the use case around AI. With the introduction of the AI adapter capabilities within B2P, there are more use cases possible, and we want to show you what you can do and how you can embed that in your scenarios to get to the next level. And last but not least, we want to show you how to enable rollout of SaaS with SAP and focus on your business processes and how you can enable those with using scenario-specific integration content in, for example, your order to cash, procure to pay scenarios. So that is what we want to close with. And like I said, then we have the QA part. If we look at what is Rojo, I mean, I've not talked about Rojo, but we are very close collaboration partner with SAP. We are a strategic partner with SAP for many years. We have also partnerships across, but we're really focusing on the core integration domain, Rojo integration. So that's why you see us talking about SAP B2P most of the time, because that's where the core integration capabilities lie of SAP and where we are closely working together with SAP. In the next page, you can also see our different domains where we are involved in. And you can see that consultancy services, innovation, software-related capabilities, which means all the products and software that we have around third-party connectivity. So you have an idea what that is about, and also our 24/7 managed services, where we proactively manage everything that's going on with SAP integration for our clients, for organizations that we work for. You see at the bottom we have Augmented Integrator. You can imagine as a company working only on this domain, we have a lot of specific knowledge here, and we have agents, agentic AI services around integration that help with the best practices, accelerate delivery, and we will also show you later about the AI adapter capability within B2P and what you can do with it, which taps into AI use cases within SAP B2P. Last, where is our roots? Where are we coming from? This collaboration with SAP, it goes back, prior to 2010, 2011, and we have been always advocating about the best practices within SAP, and our colleagues together with SAP write SAP books around process orchestration. Maybe many of you will know that, and now also B2P and CI and the best practices there, and how to work with the platform and how to get most out of it. So you will see us together there on these SAP books. So that's part of the intro, the recap, setting the stage for where we want to go. I will pass it on to my colleague Ankit Kesavani. Thank you.
Thanks, Sander, for the introduction. And let's jump into the topic for the day, which is third-party connectivity with SAP. So to begin with, I would like to start with a statement. So we are living in a world of more. What do we mean by it? It means that applications within enterprise are growing at an exponential rate, right? Earlier, back in days, companies used to have a centralized application which used to cover multiple business process or specific, let's say, for multiple geographies also for that matter. But nowadays, every department wants to have their own application. Every business process needs their own applications, right? And this is multiplied by geographies, which means nowadays an average middle-sized enterprise have around 100 to 300 applications, and this can grow to even 1,000 if you're talking about large-scale enterprise, right? And all these applications, they never sleep. What does it mean? It means all these applications will have their own quarterly updates. They will have their own releases, right? And with these applications, you need to integrate them. What does it mean? It means when we are onboarding an application, you need to share data with your other existing applications or with your main ERP systems. So there's more requirement of integration. Integration needs are increasing. And many times these are requirements are from real-time integration, right? We need the data almost real time. And in the world of AI, we need to provide data from all these applications so that our agents can answer on top of it. So our agents have these knowledge through which they can answer the questions to different use cases, right? Um, so this is the current situation we have in, right, from business standpoint. But we as developers have to solve different challenges because of this growing requirement of integration, right? Starting with applications, when we talk about these applications, they have their own capabilities which they come with. We need to understand these capabilities, these nuances, and accordingly design the integration. We need to understand the data structures of these applications. Then only we can do the transformation or put the logic of mapping. We need to understand the technicalities of authentication. Many applications come with very specific requirement of authentication or a way of handling data validation. And these has to be handled within the integration when we are integrating two different systems. And then comes the part where we are updating these applications. There are quarterly updates for these applications, releases for these applications has to be taken care by the integration team at the end of the day. All this increases the complexity and the problems when we are connecting with third-party connectivity, right? If we look in SAP ecosystem, what is the solution to it? So we have SAP BTP, which is Business Technology Platform. Within BTP, we have Integration Suite service, which is primarily solving the problem of or requirement of integration across SAP to SAP application. It also helps you with your B2B connectivity. It helps you with integration with governments for reporting purpose. And also it helps you with all these third-party applications. So Integration Suite has the capabilities for all your integration requirement. In today's webinar, they will be focusing on third-party application integration using the SAP platform-specific adapters. Okay. To begin with, within Integration Suite, if I talk about, there are certain options, right? Developers, when we as developers start developing this integration, we tend to choose certain options depending upon the requirement. But what is the right option to choose? What is more scalable in nature? What is more easier to maintain for any enterprise? So if we take a look at the first option which we have, which is HTTP adapter. So many times or in many scenarios, it is possible that we can integrate a third-party system with the HTTP adapter. But the question is it the right thing to do? Is it easier to maintain? Because what we end up doing is we end up writing all the custom logic, understanding the application, going through the documentation, understanding the capabilities, and convert that into custom scripts, which has to be maintained by the integration team um, during the support. If something changes in these applications, these custom scripts has to be taken care of, right? On the other hand, if we compare it with SAP adapters, standard adapters, what you are getting is all these functionalities wrapped up in an accelerator, so which you can directly use out of the box. It's more of a configuration which you're doing. So you're selecting which operation you want, which object you are selecting, what kind of functionalities you are delivering, right? All this becomes more of as a configuration rather than doing a development end to end. And these things also reduces your chances of failure your risk of if anything changes in these applications. This is taken care by the SAP team in their releases. So with this caveat, I would also like to show that if I'm using HTTP adapter, how does it look actually? So if you see on the left-hand side, we have application adapter where I'm doing more of a configuration where I'm saying, okay, what's my URL, what's my API, and my username and password depending upon the adapter. But on the other hand, if I tend to choose HTTP adapter, what I would do is I would rather write the whole logic in a script. This is just a part of it, by the way. There will be a very big script which is handling all that logic, all that adapter um, um, technical logic which is needed in an adapter is handled in a custom script. So this is the kind of path sometimes developers choose and probably should avoid it to take care of the functionalities or the business logic which we should be as focusing on as an integration team. So this is one of the options which we compared, that why we should not be going towards the direction of HTTP adapters in comparison to SAP platform specific adapters within SAP. Another option which comes into picture is open connectors, right? So open connectors has been there in market for quite some time. And for certain scenarios, customers have used it. But let's also look at what are the pros and cons of using open connectors versus to application specific adapters, which is part of SAP Cloud Integration or Integration Suite. So what is open connectors? Open connectors is nothing but an additional layer over cloud integration, which helps you connect with all third-party application, right? But the fact is it is an additional layer. We are doing an additional configuration in open connected layer and then able to connect to these third-party application, which increases your chances of failure. So there's one more failure point which you're adding in your integration. And definitely there will be chances of potential latency within your integration. Since it is additional layer, your monitoring will be not straightforward. So you will have to make sure if something fails, you're able to look at both the places. Where did it actually fail? And needless to say, there is an additional license cost when you're using open connectors. In comparison, if we talk about app-specific third-party adapters, which is part of integration suite or embedded, it's a direct communication, right? So these app-specific adapters are embedded in the framework of CI and helps you directly communicate with SaaS application rather than having an additional layer. So we are removing the point of failure or latency in comparison to open connector. We have native message monitoring because it is part of the same framework. So you can use the same monitoring tools which we're using within cloud integration. And the best part is it is included in the integration suite subscription. So if you have already integration suite, you don't need to additionally buy any license to use these third-party application adapters. So with this, what we understood was that for third-party integration, why does it makes a lot of sense to use SAP adapters? Because it is out of the box, it is reducing my development efforts, it is faster time to value. I'm able to deliver my integration to business in a faster time in an accelerated way. And the best part is there is no additional cost to it. So if I'm using CI, already I have access to all these third-party application adapters. And I don't need to reinvent the wheel by using HTTP adapters or by going in the direction of open connectors and paying extra. Okay, so how do we find these adapters? So right, we understood that, okay, these are good to use when we are building integration scenarios for these third-party applications. How do we find these integration adapters? So there are multiple ways. So if you are a developer, you can definitely go to Discover tab of your integration suite. There you can find it. You can also go to, if you are more from business side, you can go to Accelerator Hub of SAP where you can find this adapter. So I will quickly toggle and go towards the Business Accelerator Hub to just give you a glimpse of how you can find these adapters. So if you see, currently I'm in Business Accelerator Hub. We have a section called Integration. Within integration, we can go to adapters, and in adapter, we have the list of adapters, including third-party application adapters, which is available for developers to use. So for example, if I was interested in integrating Salesforce, I could easily search for it. I will have to log in. Yeah. So if you see here, I can look at this adapter and look at the functionalities of it. And as a developer, I can do it from the perspective of Discover tab. So I'm right now in my integration suite, and in my Discover tab within integration, I can look for a particular adapter which I'm interested in. So for example, if I go to Salesforce again, here I'm looking for vendor as SAP, Salesforce adapter for integration suite. I can easily import it in my design time and start using it. It is that straightforward for developers. So this way we can also find any of the adapters which we have. And with this, we would like to also show you the roadmap, right? So it's quite a big list which we have planned for this year and the coming year. You see many logos. It's not the complete list which you see in the screen right now. There are many more adapters. We cannot fit all the logos in one screen. But if you don't see, if you have any question related to, for example, you don't find a particular adapter, you can also reach out to SAP via influence way, and also recommend particular application for which you need integration for. So that is also possible. But this is something which we together with SAP is currently working on, and for these adapters, there are quarterly updates, releases, which keeps coming on for customers to use. So for the demo part, what we would like to do is we like to focus on one specific adapter, which was launched recently, which is AI adapter. And in this AI adapter, what we would do is we would see how we can make our integration, or we can add power of LLM and agent to our integration scenario. But before going to that part, let's look at what are the key capabilities of AI adapter, and then we will jump to the demo. So if you talk about AI adapter helps you connect to all the pre-shipped LLMs in the SAP AI Hub, Gen AI Hub. It also helps you connect with your custom agent, pre-built or standard agent, which is offered by SAP. It's almost like acting like a gateway for your AI use cases. And it also helps you in orchestration between your agent and your applications. So you can design it according to your requirement. And to represent it, you see this as an example. So we have integration suite here within our BTP. And at one side, we can connect to our SAP applications. On the other side, we are connecting to the services within SAP AI Core, be it any pre-scheduled LLMs or any agent which is built. And we can also integrate with third-party LLMs if there's a requirement like OpenAI. But AI adapter technically is helping you connect to your LLMs or your agent and build orchestration with your SAP or third-party applications. With this, we would like to jump towards the demo part. Before I show the demo, let's look at the scenario for where we are using our AI adapter. So we have picked one of the integration content, which is available for customers, which is Salesforce integration with S/4HANA Cloud. It's already something which is published. We chose a particular scenario here, which is sales order replication from Salesforce to S/4HANA. So what we will be doing is we will be creating a sales order in Salesforce, and we have a scenario which is getting triggered from Salesforce and getting replicated to S/4HANA. And in this, what we have done, we have added a layer of error handling using our AI adapter, where in the error handling, it is talking to our custom agent, which has the knowledge of all my known issues in the past and their resolution at the same time. So technically, what does it mean? If something fails in my integration during runtime, via my error handling logic, I can in real time talk to this agent and ask, hey, I face this scenario. Is there already a resolution which has been done in past for this particular problem? And with that information, I can post the details. If I'm using Jira, for example, for my reporting purpose of my errors, I can post that information in my Jira. So I'm not just reporting any error, I'm reporting the error details with a possible resolution similar to this error in past from the past incidents. Using this connectivity with my custom agent. So if we look at in real time, let's go to Salesforce. So we have the Salesforce system here. What we will do is we will just change something in this sales order in Salesforce, and it will trigger. So let's change the address here. Yeah. So what it will do technically, it will trigger a scenario, which is replicate sales order from Salesforce to S/4HANA. And if we look high level, what the scenario does is it is receiving an event from Salesforce and trying to either create or update the sales order depending upon the scenario. And at the same time, what do we do in exception handling? Here we are technically connecting within our agent. We are trying to pass information to the agent and asking, hey, this error occurred in the past? And if yes, please give me the details, how it was resolved, which team was responsible to resolve in resolving it. Okay. So it was triggered. If I look at it, it was triggered here. Technically, then it should be reported in my Jira. If I go to my Jira incidents here, refresh my screen, I see an incident created. Let's open it. Yes. So if you see here, it was a problem related to my sales area. So I know the error details, but the interesting part is resolution generated by AI. Known error status, yes, this is a known error. According to known issue database, my agent could already find this information. Description of the error is here. We have also got the resolution details from different perspective. What was the time? What was the related incident? So I also got a link to my related incident, which happened in the past. Which team was responsible to solve this issue? How was this issue resolved? So now, from integration standpoint, if you think of it, what we were able to do, we were able to already know a possible resolution and report an incident. In comparison, what we would have done is we just reported an incident and the support team is going to contact multiple teams, find the possibility, what could be the solution for this problem, and then work on it. And if it's a production issue, you can imagine the kind of pressure normally we have when these kinds of integration fails. And with this information, you are already multiple steps ahead in solving your problem. And this was possible because of the AI adapter. So this is just one of the use cases where you are using AI adapter to speak to a real-time agent which has the knowledge of all your known issues and with the power of LLM that, okay, this error matches with this particular known issue and resolution. And the same agent can also be used for direct communication with the support team. So support team could be also speaking to the same agent to which my integrations are talking to in real time. There can be many more business case where we are using AI adapter. For example, you are doing a validation on top of your logic or data before sending it to the target system using LLM. There could be a scenario where we are enriching a target knowledge base, which your agent is using from a source application. So there can be multiple use cases where you are trying to orchestrate between your agent and SAP or non-SAP applications in your middleware. So this was about the AI adapter and how it helps you make your build intelligent integration scenarios. After this, I think we will also like to talk about the integration content. Um, so first we have to understand what is integration content. So if we look back, what we were discussing was the connectivity problem, right? If I have an application in my enterprise like Salesforce, the application specific adapter solves the problem of connectivity with these applications. But at the end of the day, the business needs end-to-end business process running from one application to another application. So for example, what we just saw, sales order scenario, right? For sales order, if someone is creating a sales order in my SAP system or in Salesforce system, it has to be synced with my ERP system like SAP, right? And these are nothing my end-to-end scenarios for my particular business process like order to cash. So what integration content is? Integration content is pre-delivered integration scenarios with the standard mapping, with the standard configuration, which can be used by customer as a template to begin with. So you're already getting a big portion of your logic, which is standard in nature, to use and build on top of it to meet your business requirement, right? And with this, why does it makes a lot of sense to use integration content, right? As I explained, we are already getting um, pre-delivered integration scenarios. So we don't need to work or build the integrations from scratch, right? We are already getting standard integration scenarios built on best practices to build on top of it. So for example, if I'm replicating sales order, I might have custom fields, but then I only need to focus on custom fields. I don't need to build the whole orchestration from scratch. So I'm technically accelerating my migration to a large extent. So I'm not talking about months of implementation. It's about weeks of implementation where we are more focusing on covering the gaps, doing the testing and the validation, followed by go live. And the best part is all these contents are built with the best practices recommended by SAP. So you are technically following the standards which is recommended by SAP when using this content. So you don't need to worry about, okay, am I compliant with the standards? Will there be a risk if I'm using this content? Because we already have exception handling in this content designed in such a way it handles your scenario. We have naming convention followed in the scenarios. So all those best practices are embedded in this content by default, and you're adding your logic on top of it. And if we translate this to some numbers here, what we're talking about is we are converting the months of implementation to weeks, right? We are reducing the total cost of ownership to almost 60%. We are covering the out-of-the-box connectivity to almost 80%. In many cases, it's even higher, but on average, the scenario which is available in these contents cover 80% of the requirement for customers. And the best part, it's SAP compliant. It follows the standard which is recommended by SAP in these contents. Yeah, so if we look at different contents available, so these are some examples which we have. The list is big, and I will also show you in Accelerator Hub how can you find all these integration content. So for example, we have content with SignaView, we have content with Workday. These are used heavily across customers. We have content for Coupa to solve the procure to pay process. We have content around ServiceNow and Salesforce. So we are also working, or let's say we have content available from the perspective of process also to solve order to cash, procure to pay process, rather than just integrating two different applications. Yeah. We would also like to show you one customer story here, where the integration content was used and how it resulted, what are the benefits of using that integration contents. So the requirement was around procure to pay process implementation, where the customers were using SAP Coupa, or let's say Coupa. For ERP, it was SAP S/4HANA. And The implementation time was reduced to 4 weeks almost. The scenarios which were required by the customers, we almost had 80% of the coverage. And the best part was it was real-time integration between SAP S/4HANA and Coupa. So earlier they were using file-based integration, which was converted to real-time using events and APIs, OData APIs between S/4HANA. So this in a nutshell is how SAP integration content helps um, enterprises cover their business process, and rather than developing it from scratch, they can use the pre-built scenarios and integration flows available via the Accelerator Hub. Let me also show how this contents can be found. So if I go back to my Accelerator Hub, so here I'm going back to my integration. Yeah, going back to integration. Within integration, we can go to packages, and in packages here we can find different integration content available out of the box. So for example, if I search for Salesforce again, so here if you see SAP ERP integration with Salesforce, so if you look at it here, it is already covering your master data replication, your transactional data replication, and covering a big percentage of your order to cash scenario primarily. Yeah. And the same thing can be also found in Integration Suite. So if I go back to my Integration Suite, yeah, in this discover phase. So if I search for example, Salesforce here, I can find the same package here and use it within my design time. So I see the scenarios here. I can go through the document, which helps me configuring the scenarios. And I can, as a developer, copy the scenario in my design time, configure it and start using it. So this is how, as an integration developer, I can use my application-specific adapters to connect to my applications and use my integration content to build or let's say deliver scenarios, business processes using these adapters and content. Right? So if we look at the key takeaways from this webinar, the first one is that SAP Integration Suite solves the problem of third-party application connectivity. And within Integration Suite, we have benefits, both technical and business benefits of using SAP platform-specific adapters. We also focused on AI adapter, that how AI adapter helps integrate with LLMs and custom agents and build intelligent process. We also looked at prepackaged content, that how prepackaged content is able to solve my business process integration requirements. Rather than building it from scratch, I can start using the content and focus on the gaps which we have from the custom business logic. I think with this, we would have time remaining for Q&A. So we can take some questions if we have from the audience. Feel free to post your questions over chat. We would be happy to answer, which is, it can be related to adapters, it can be related to the content, or to the demo which we have shown.
Yeah, so on the page here, you find links to a LinkedIn community that we have all related to integration topics with a core focus on SAP as well. So you can scan that and request to join that community, and you can also check out the tool which is referred to as the second QR code related to how the work is, what are the benefits of integration content, and how you can start using it yourself and make the business case for any of it. Right now, we don't see any queries in the Q&A section. We will monitoring it for the next minute if there are any questions coming in. I think there's a question coming in via the chat. Yeah, there is one question coming in. Thank you so much. So the question is, hello, is what you showed in terms of the AI ticket creation logic and the AI agent logic also delivered by Rojo, please? So I think this is a question to the offering of the solution, how it works.
Yeah. I can take this one, maybe, Sandra?
Yeah.
So because if we talk about the connectivity part, which is why AI adapter, it comes out of the box. When it comes to the custom scenario requirement, it is something which you can also build yourself. We as a company can also help you. So feel free to reach out. But the AI adapter is already available for all consumers or customers of Integration Suite and cloud integration. And you can design integration scenarios using the AI adapter to integrate with your existing agents. But we as a company have already helped multiple customers around this. So if you want to take reference, take our help, feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Then there's a second question, and I think this is a relatable question because it's about the integration content, which we have presented here today, and what happens when SAP updates the original, or do you have to update your custom scenarios manually? Because I can understand the question. You have a standard. What are the options when there's an update and it still supports your modifications, yes or no? Ankit, you want to take that one as well?
I can take this one, yes. So there are different options when we would like to use integration content. So many times integration content comes as configure only. What does it mean? As a customer, I can just use it in the standard format. But at the same time, we also have user exits. So if audience who are from the SAP ERP ABAP background, we used to have enhancements points and exits, right? So in the, or let's say bodies, which where you use our own business logic. Similar to bodies, we have user exits in these integration content where we, as a customer, can put our business logic. With this, what happens is the updates keep coming from customers, from SAP, which we as customer can use without impacting the business logic which we have added on top of it. So it's almost like a gateway exits given in these scenarios for customers to put their business logic. And in other scenarios where it is also editable by customer, you are free to extend it in such a way that you are adding your own logic, but also making sure your main framework is not impacted so that you can adopt the changes whenever you want to. So you are not interested in getting every change which is coming from SAP side, right? You are interested in only very specific change. So it's a strategy which you have to define, that how do you do enhancements on those content and accordingly use it. And if you have a very specific question, we can help you with it. Should not be a problem.
Okay, thank you. As mentioned also in the chat, you will see that for further questions, how you can reach out as well. Right now, we don't see any new questions coming in. I'll just give it a minute if anyone has an additional question that pops up, we can take it. Otherwise, we will be completing this session. I see no additional questions coming in or people typing. So thank you so much for attending this session. I hope this gives you essential insight in the third-party connectivity options that you have to the adapters, to the AI adapter, to integration content. I want to thank you for your time and wish you a great day. We will be completing the event. Thank you for your attendance. I hope it was insightful. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.